What's up, everybody? Welcome to, where are we? In Vegas. Welcome to Vegas, everybody. I'm here with Ken and Matt from MySlabs. We're in the collectibles booth. It's amazing. They set it up actually live here in the showroom, which is amazing too, because you get the feel of it. My first time meeting both of these amazing folks. Do you guys want to introduce yourself? You know, what you do at MySlabs? You know, don't be silly. What you actually do, and maybe your PC.
PC. All right. Well, we're going there already. Okay. Well, Ken Rogers, CEO, yeah, I just basically wear a lot of different hats and run the day-to-day with Matt, manage a lot of the product, and yeah, just trying to keep it real and do the right thing for our community.
Awesome.
I'm Matt, and I run the day-to-day operations. Pretty much everybody that has to message customer service at some point is going to deal with me or my staff. Other than that, PC is 90s basketball cards. 90s basketball, baseball inserts. So
Nice.
Actually, PC, I skipped that part. So PC, pretty simple for me. I actually, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. You know, I'm a huge fan of that rivalry. I was, a big Lakers fan from the '80s. So
Let's go.
yeah, for sure. So have some of that and vintage baseball.
Nice.
That's actually what kind of got me started in the hobby as a kid, and just always kind of maintain a nostalgic connection to that kind of stuff. So
Gotcha.
those two things.
Nice. Well, nice to meet you both in flesh. And
Nice to
I'm
meet you
pretty
as
sure
well.
I interacted with your team or yourself with
We've
very
probably
annoying
spoken.
emails. Yeah. Cool. So I have some questions for you guys around MySlabs. I've obviously seen it grow over the last year and a half or two-ish that I've been a user of. I think the growth that you guys have seen is explosive. I mean, I don't have the internal data or anything, but just by the volume of transactions that I see on the transaction history, it's absolutely insane. And the improvements that you're also making to parallel with that growth is amazing as well. I wanted to ask you guys, like, what is your top of mind right now? Like, what keeps you up at night? What do you need to fix or do better? Like, what's keeping you guys up?
When you have a very technology-centric platform, and we run a very lean team, right? Like so, a lot of our engineers are part-time,
Mm-hmm.
so we have a roadmap a mile long, and there's always things that we want to add and always things that we want to do, but so sometimes like the pace of the new features and different things that we want to do isn't necessarily what we want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that's always a little bit of a challenge, but yeah, it's just just going to keep your head down and just we do the best we can.
Yeah.
for me, it's just trying to provide members with everything they want, like always.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many members. Like you said, our growth is off the charts. We're probably going to finish the year with 75,000 accounts or so.
Wow.
We started last year with 12,000. So obviously the growth is huge, and with growth comes demand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own idea of what they think the site should be and
Yeah.
what they want. So we try to tailor it to the greater majority,
Mm-hmm.
but there are a lot of demands and a lot of things we'd like to put in on the website. So
Yeah.
for me, it's just not being able to get those things done fast enough.
I hear you.
Yeah, I wish I had a magic wand, right? You don't have one in the box next to you. You have like a magic wand. You could,
Not like Hermione or Harry Potter or something. Come on, Ken. No, but I mean, that's like always, I think, actually, if you look at it from the other angle, it's a positive thing to have so much things that you want to do to improve, your platform is. That means you're doing something right?
Yep.
When you're not getting enough foot traffic, you won't even have that kind of issues, right? Like that's how I kind of view a lot of the startups
Yep.
space. If you don't have user base to analyze on and improve your journey with,
Yep.
that's actually even worse, So really
Sure.
happy that you guys have these issues and problems. Let's switch gears to your latest product release / newest feature of raw cards category. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey, it's called MySlabs. It's not called My Raws or My Cards. You guys now, trying to capture a market that wasn't, yours to grab, right? That's like one criticism that I get as
Really?
feedback.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're literally like, it's called MySlabs, right?
Okay.
But I mean, besides that, walk me through like the process and how long you have been in discussion to open up to raw cards, because my guess is more than half of cards out there are raw in the world. Right?
The vast majority.
Yeah. So walk me through that kind
Sure.
of process and journey. Yeah.
And first of all, and just, I would like to think that at this point, the MySlabs name actually transcends, the literal definition of what it is, right? Like, so MySlabs is just MySlabs. It's
Yeah.
not even a slab anymore. So
Yeah.
it could be raw.
I mean,
so.
we've sold wax forever.
That's true. It's not my wax.
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true. But I mean, as far as it's been something that Matt and I have chatted about many times. Probably for 9 months, literally, like many conversations, and a lot of me trying to get Matt to really buy in, and I think a big part of that is because Matt obviously manages the customer service folks. So he's on the front lines, dealing with, our guys, and also, dealing with, users as well, and issues with transactions. So, I think just, that was kind of where his cautiousness came with it. And, we just wanted to make sure that, we had the right guidelines and just, that enable people to really have the right expectations on both sides of the transaction. So, we can minimize, the issues. And so and Matt can touch on that, but
I've actually had that same conversation where somebody was saying, well, it's called MySlabs. You have a branding issue. Well, what were we supposed to do? Our customer base wanted this. We thought we could provide it in a very functional, sort of way, and do it better than other platforms to do it. We're not going to tell all of our users, we're not going to do this for you. So for something as silly as the namesake.
Yeah.
That being said, we do play it a little bit differently than the other platforms are, typically.
Yeah.
Our guidelines are a little bit, one-off from the other platforms, and as of right now, it's worked, extremely well.
Yeah.
Typically, raw cards are the biggest returned on eBay
Correct.
because of the condition issues. Because of the way we've structured our own grading scale, which kind of mirrors a combination of PSA, BGS, and SGC, and all crumpled up into one ball. And how we deal with returns, we're roughly, I want to say 900 sales in the raw. We have about 900 sales in the raw card. There's been one return request thus far, and the buyer was justified. The seller missed something; he gladly took it back.
Gotcha.
But that's an insanely low return rate. It's unheard of, and part of it is we vet our sellers at the door anyway. So you're kind of eliminating a lot of that questionable activity, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been on the platform like as a personal user, as a seller and a buyer for a while now, and something that I absolutely love is there's no return. Like, I can't tell you how many times on eBay I would get the highest bid, at that point in time, and it doesn't get paid for 2 weeks.
Yep.
I send a friendly message, doesn't get responded, and it's not even anyone who's like with lower reviews. It's actually some people have like hundreds of reviews, and they do that, and maybe it was a cold feet kind of situation. I've never run into an issue where I sell a card and the card like plummets like the day after or anything like that. But I've run into so many issues. I mean, I want to say at least 10% of my sales are like that. Maybe it's because it's an emerging market mostly. But something that I love about MySlabs is I've never had that kind of issue. Like, how do you guys police that? Like, are you just getting good people from the door, or do you police it so well from the back end that you kind of avoid those kind of situations?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Obviously, we vet our sellers, and I personally constantly screen the system for buyers for known bad entities, and that's actually a lot more intensive than people think. But because we've been in the industry forever, we have resources, we have databases of bad users and so forth. So those people are constantly removed if they do slip in. But the kind of the vetting of the sellers is a big thing. Have to be, have to have some sort of sales history on some of the platforms, or have credible vouchers from well-known individuals in the industry. And at least this way, if you screw up on our platform, if you're a seller and you try to cancel a sale because the price, you're gone. There's no warnings. If there's a buyer and you don't pay, you're gone. So we kind of police that by having those standards in place. And for the most part, it really works.
You should share that bad people list with some, or sell it. I don't know. I think some people might buy it.
Sell it.
To be honest with you, we
slab it and sell it.
We have a large online kind of welcome forum for Facebook. That's how we got the whole company off the ground.
Oh.
People have always asked to have that list posted. I just don't think legally that would be the best way, because there are
Right.
forums
I
on
didn't think
Facebook
about
that have lists
They
of
do.
people.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think just, we do hold members on both sides of the transaction. So buyers and sellers, we do hold folks to a high standard, and and to be honest, like it's not even necessarily for our benefit. I mean, ultimately, of course, like it makes our lives easier, but
course, yeah.
I think the community as a whole, really benefits. So I think we've been at it long enough, and we have enough of a reputation, and I think the community is really adjusted, to the expectations. And to be honest with you, like with the amount of business that we do, like really, it's really a feather in the community's cap, like as far as like how, just like I said, given the amount of business, like the issues are, relatively, at a minimum,
Right.
certainly compared to like an eBay or something like that.
we don't have instances of fraud, and if they do pop up, we have a team of customer service reps that come from the industry. These guys are group subbers.
I
It's
see.
it's myself. It's people that have been used to dealing with that BS forever.
Yep.
So we typically weed it out fairly quickly.
That's good.
Yes, it works well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, obviously, like when someone makes a customer service inquiry, like, you're engaging with someone from the MySlabs team that's actually from the hobby. Like as
That's
opposed,
very different.
as opposed to like somebody on PayPal or somebody on eBay, and like it's just so
Like a customer success or service team, like that's not even like remotely near where you are, right?
right,
Yeah.
or just not even remotely near where you are. It just has really no
No
subject
idea.
matter expertise whatsoever.
Right.
So they just don't necessarily have the background to be able to kind of like see what's going on in a given situation and just deal with it.
Yeah.
So that helps us as well.
Sure.
We pay a little more for that, but I think it's worth it.
No, thanks for sharing that. So, tell me about the weirdest, or maybe the funniest, episode from behind the scenes at MySlabs.
Oh boy.
Well, we get a lot. I don't necessarily answer as many customer service calls as I used to, because we've staffed that up, scaled that up quite a bit actually. But there's some doozies. People are usually, like, you can't tell if somebody's just messing with you or they're generally that I don't even know what a polite way to put it would be, that off, I guess.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty PC, yeah.
Yeah, I had somebody. Now, mind you, when people want to be argumentative, you'll get an email chain that's like 37 messages long.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to calm them down. There was one user who was typically very difficult. Like every purchase, if it was 30 seconds past the three business day deadline,
Don't complain.
ship for sellers to ship, he was always messaging, and it wouldn't be one message. So that same gentleman, I believe it was the Christmas before last, wanted to know where his cards were, and he would never just message the seller. He'd just say, "Where are my cards?" at customer service. Well, I don't know. Like, so trying to calm him down, said, "Well, when did you buy this anyway?" Friday. Well, Friday happened to be a Christmas. I said, "Well, that's not a business day." So
Right.
he said, "Yes, it is." We go back. I said, "No, it's not considered a business day." And he got so confrontational. And at the end of it, I said, "Listen, Christmas was last Friday. That's not a business. That's a national holiday."
Yeah.
He said, "No, when Christmas lands on a Friday, it doesn't count."
Where does he live?
And I said, "Well, what do you mean it doesn't count?" But it's just bizarre stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of it's common sense. People just don't think. Like, their first reaction is, since using other platforms, is they're scammed, right? Like, they were scammed. So they'll call up or they'll message and immediately think something's off, and you have to walk them through a process of like common sense steps. And at the end, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I am so sorry." I'm like, one guy one night, probably like 3 a.m. because I am fielding messages that late.
Wow.
He's telling me all of his inventory has disappeared from the site. He said my transaction history's gone, all my cards, my watch, all of my everything is gone on the website. I said, no. Well, are you in vacation mode? So I'm going through all these checkpoints that are typically. I said, can you shoot me a screenshot of what your next screenshot comes through? Heritage Auctions. I'm like, so let me get this straight here.
I remember that.
You're on Heritage Auctions. That means you have to physically get off that website, come to MySlabs, dial up customer service, go back to Heritage Auctions.
It's
Yeah, we get those at eBay too. Like people are in their eBay account, or maybe they bought something on eBay and they're like just sending us a message because they're angry at the seller or something like that, and they actually ended up buying the
different
piece on
platform.
eBay.
I had somebody message us last week, and he said, "How do you feel about your sellers selling reclosed boxes?" Obviously, I take that seriously. I said, "Send me pictures."
Yeah.
I could tell right off the box wasn't reclosed, resealed. But
what
going
evidence
back
do-
and
yeah.
forth, and he actually found me on Facebook too. So we're going through like 3 different lines of communication. He's getting extremely belligerent, and he goes, "So what happens if I open this up and there's GI Joe cards inside?" Because it was like a Pokemon box or something.
Okay.
And he had just seen that clip. So I said, "Well, the seller would honor that. They'd take care of you." I'm like, wait a minute, this sale isn't even pulling up in our system. Like, he goes, "Oh, I bought it on eBay." But he was trying to get me to contact the seller through
For
eBay
you.
and leverage him. Like 45
my
minutes out of my
gosh.
life. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
Yeah. My favorite, the best MySlabs blooper, I'll definitely change gears. And you work at Google, right? So you're in the tech world. We actually were really under the gun to get the raw updates out. So we were so excited to get that out, and obviously it was a major site update. And so the developers, obviously we're going to push the updates from our staging environment into production, and it was a whole big deal. We couldn't wait to get it live, and so they pushed it up to production, and then all of a sudden the site crashed completely. And then so then they were like, "Oh man, let's revert, the push, get into GitHub, revert the push." And then he's like, "Oh my God, we can't revert it, we didn't put this and that, so we can't revert, the site's down." So
And I'm the one that fields all the phone calls and everything.
yeah. So I'm just like, so anyway, ultimately it was, they resolved it, and it was probably down for all of 5 minutes, but it's like the stress and the expletives in those few minutes, it's just, obviously we can laugh about it now, but
It's code red.
it's I mean, listen, obviously if you've ever done worked in a tech environment and that kind of stuff,
It's code red. Everybody's up.
So
We're all
anyway.
debugging together.
Yeah,
Wow,
so-
that's scary.
So that was fun.
Glad it
We
only
can laugh
lasted
about
5
it
minutes
now.
though.
Yeah, we can laugh about it now.
I'm still not going to laugh about it.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, thank you so much for the time. I've obviously really enjoyed getting
Thank
to know
you for doing
MySlabs
this.
and Ken as well. Just really overall amazing people who love the hobby first, and doing something to innovate it as well and taking it to the next level. So really thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching, and I guess we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah,
you very
sounds
much.
good.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you.
That was awesome.